What up, y'all? It's your boy Infamous, been calling your boy. Welcome back. Alright, guys, I've been hearing about this documentary called Into the Manosphere by this British dude named, let's see, Louis Theroux. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but all I know is that it's been like a popular documentary. Like, it's been trending all over TikTok. I did watch the documentary, and I thought, why not do a video on this and give my own personal take after, like, reacting to some, like, what was it, some TikTok clips. So, here we are. Like, share, subscribe on Instagram, check me out on DNR. The links to everything down below. And guys, if you want to get my, like, work, my videos, like, before they even, like, show up on YouTube, head over to my Patreon page. What's Patreon, you ask? Patreon is, like, an online platform where you can, like, support, like, your favorite content creators and get, like, special perks and benefits. Like I said, like, getting my stuff early, sometimes, like, requests, or sometimes alternate versions of my videos. So, yeah, if you guys like what I do and you want to support me, head over to my Patreon, guys. And guys, I do post like on Patreon before like I even like post anything on YouTube. So yeah, check it out.
So I keep seeing videos about like this manosphere documentary, and it brought a couple thoughts to my mind. I've seen healthy and unhealthy masculinity. And I think my honest conclusion is basically Revenge of the Nerds. It's a lot of men with money and power these days who probably was nerds or losers back in the day. Never got taught by a good man how to be a good man. And most importantly, never had real experience or success with women. And just analyzing the whole problem, to me, it just looks like resentment. And I truly think we're just seeing the results of that. I truly think the only thing that's going to solve it is men being stand up fathers again. And as a good man, try and help out, guide, and teach as many young men as you can. Because a lot of them are being misled already.
I guess you married, by the way?
Yeah. Not. I didn't bring the state into it.
Why did you not get married in the eyes of the state? You think the financial side?
Yeah.
That seems more risky for you, maybe.
It does seem more risky for me, but I don't feel like I'm at risk.
But Lewis, let's say it ended right now. Let's say it ended tomorrow, me and you.
Oh.
I would still look at it as successful. It's some of the best years of my life. I have beautiful children, beautiful memories.
I didn't realize how much of a problem this was until I started studying and learning about family law. I think it's so important for women especially to have legal literacy, because research shows that a lot of men think strategically about marriage, whereas a lot of women might think romantically or idealistically, and they might be more emotional when it comes to language. Because I think a lot of women are socialized to idealize marriage and put marriage on this pedestal. When they hear a man talking about marriage in an emotional way, saying, oh, you're my wife even though we're not married, they might see that as reassuring, whereas in reality it's not, right? Justin said they didn't get the state involved, which means they aren't legally married. Just because you've been cohabitating with someone for a long period of time, just because you have a baby with someone, just because you live with someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys are married in the eyes of the law, which means symbolically she might be treated as a wife, or he might call her his wife because they're playing these traditional gender roles. Symbolically she's a wife, but legally he has no legal responsibilities when it comes to his wife, putting her at so much risk, right? Women already statistically more likely to experience financial hardship following a relationship breakdown, so it becomes even more of a vulnerable position for you when you are cohabitating with a man. Entering a long-term relationship without a legal marriage with a man can amplify vulnerability. And when a woman isn't legally married, you do not get the same benefits, you don't get the same protections legally as a married woman would get. For example, you might not get automatic inheritance rights. So for example, if your partner dies, you might not have a claim legally to the estate because you aren't married. You might not have automatic property rights. If you've been living in a place with a man, right, and you guys divorce and you separate, you might not be able to remain in that house. You might have no financial claim when it comes to that house, right? You may not get any financial support after the separation, regardless of how long the relationship lasted and the sacrifices that a woman made during it. Even when a child is involved, the legal protections are very, very limited, right? A father might have obligations for child support because that's different, but these obligations are directed towards the child rather than towards the financial security of the mother, right? So the presence of a child does not necessarily protect the economically dependent partner from financial vulnerability if the relationship ends, right? She is putting herself in a very, very risky position, as well as the fact that her partner makes more money than her. Justin Waller said that he thinks he's worth millions, right? Meaning that there's asymmetrical power in this relationship. She might be getting the stay-at-home traditional life, but if this relationship ends, the reason why he's so comfortable talking about the ending of this relationship is because he knows he can walk away from this relationship with little to no responsibility. Little to no responsibility, and she takes on all of the load. Not only does she have to stay in this relationship because she loves him, but she's financially dependent on this man. She is, because he's financing her life, and she's not in a legal position to protect herself. She can't sign a prenup because she's not married, right? And so this is why it's so important to me, because I think a lot of women might rationalize this lifestyle, this traditional lifestyle, and glorify it and make it seem like, oh, it's okay because I am allowed to be my feminine and he gets to be in his masculine. But really, this isn't a loving relationship. This is an asymmetrical relationship where the man has all of the power financially, emotionally, spiritually, and you have little to none. Not to mention, a woman takes on a very important sacrifice when she decides to have a children with a man, right, biologically, and there is so much there's so much risk that comes along with this, because the legal system might not recognize this woman's sacrifices in the same way. So this creates a paradox where the person contributing to the biological creation and caregiving may hold fewer structural protections than the partner controlling financial resources.
The Into the Manosphere documentary revealed one key fact about the manosphere and right-wing masculinity that we need to talk about. It is the mother lode, pun intended, you'll see what I mean in a second, of all projections. As it turns out, it's actually all the men who are devaluing women every chance they get who have the daddy issues. These are a bunch of men who have made it their job to convince other men to worry about impressing men because the man in their life never cared enough to try to impress them. They have created an ecosystem of competitive value proving to men because they have always felt deep down that they have no value to men. Ironically, they devalue the one person who stuck around and actually chose to love them unconditionally, their mother. And to go even further, part of why they devalue women and devalue women's opinions of men so much is because they feel so worthless. They think that the woman in their life, their mother, is wrong for having loved them. That is what all of this comes down to. At least a significant portion of it, it appears. I think all of the subjects, or close to it, in that film had basically been abandoned by their dads or had bad relationships with their father. And it's no surprise, I've talked about this a lot, a lot of people have, that so much of right-wing hate comes from insecurity. That is the thing that fuels hate. It is this need to hate someone else more than you hate yourself. And often you're hating something emblematic about what you hate about yourself or what you're afraid of about yourself. And of course, they pretend that it's all about respecting themselves and learning to love themselves and take care of themselves, when that is the farthest thing from the truth. So, of course, it's daddy issues. Of course it is. And of course, that insult or accusation has been flung at women by insecure men their entire lives. Of course it is. I think Louis Theroux cracked the code on this one. It is interesting, and honestly not at all surprising, that it is the men who messed up the men and made the men like this, But okay.
So I just watched the Manosphere Netflix documentary that just came out, and I am not being dramatic when I say this. What those male influencer guys are selling to young men is genuinely very dangerous. These are influencers right now that have built massive audiences of young men, and they are telling them that women are essentially the enemy, that respecting women makes you weak, and that relationships are all some power game. And young guys are listening. But here's the part nobody's talking about. The opposite of toxic masculinity is not weak masculinity. It's strong men who treat women with respect. Men who are confident enough that they don't need to tear down women to feel powerful. I was raised to believe something very simple. Secure and confident men don't go around hating women. Secure and confident men build with women. They partner with women. I am not anti-man. I am pro-better men. And we definitely need more of them to speak up and push back against some of this stuff. For the sake of women, and for the sake of the young men who are still impressionable and looking for male role models.
Okay, so I just finished the Manosphere documentary, and I gotta talk about it. I really do like Louis Theroux. I think he did a great job, honestly. However, they don't care if you make them look bad. They're on camera 24/7. They knew what they were going to say. They knew what that they were going to do. They already have their broken audience by the balls. They could spin it any way they want. You can't cancel people like that. You can't bring shit to light or expose them. They're already catering to the worst of the worst. There's no where else you can go besides the bottom. What really would have been interesting is interviewing the women more. Who actually finds them attractive? Who actually thinks that they're honorable men? You saw how uncomfortable all these women were, including one of their moms. Myron shit himself when Louis was asking a woman unsupervised questions. That's who they are. Not the tough bravado, not the racist, misogynistic, homophobic motherfuckers. That's who they are. Paranoid, scared boys. Says the simp, says the cuck. Fuck you, you loser. The fans in this documentary were drooling over these men. How fucking pathetic. There was no one in this world that I would do that to. I'd be very excited if I met Larry David. But I wouldn't kiss his ass like that. I would just want him to insult me. Oh, that'd be great. But I think if you really want to expose them, you need to talk to the people who have been fucked over, who left the manosphere. Or the people who are like, I've signed up for the courses, I've done this and this. I haven't received anything, my life is getting worse. And they always have this backstory of finding God and rags to riches and no one is going to take care of me, so I got to take care of myself. Bitch, I take care of myself too. I still respect the people around me. I still respect women. What a fucking cop-out. There's still a lot of work to be done. And good men aren't going to stand around and watch women be treated like objects because that's the direction our culture is going. Fuck that. Real men don't care if you call us a simp or a cuck. All you master taters are the same. Constantly submitting and simping for other men. There's other people in the world, dick fucks. Okay? Learn to be an actual man.
Alright, yo, your boy gotta confess, man. Your boy gotta say something here. Alright, story time. I used to watch these Fresh and Fit guys and like those master dudes when I was in high school. I mean, somewhere around like my junior year and my senior year of high school, I used to watch these guys like on a regular basis. I don't know. I always wonder like why am I even watching these guys in the first place? I mean, but looking back at it then, I probably was like looking for I guess stimulation, good debate or good talking or guess I don't know. Like I've been having like a lot of questions about relationships and like how to like get fed and stuff. Most of the time, I would say like Fresh and Fed when I first watched them. I mean, these guys were like my major motivation for me to like work out regularly, and it did. I worked out like every freaking like day. Well, not every single day, but like on a consistent basis, and I still do now because like I used to watch Fresh and Fit and stuff. But and also was the after hour shows with the women. Obviously, I watched it because of the women. Hello, I'm still a dude, but I'm glad I got out of that like before like they've really gotten bad with all the whole Myron Gaines scandal. And let's see. Honestly though, what did it for me? Like what made me like start the process of stopping cutting off like this whole master stuff? I would say that time that Fresh and Fit brought Nick Fuentes on the podcast at one time during an after hours show with the girls and stuff. Keep in mind, I did not know like who Nick Fuentes was back then, but after like hearing about that, that's when I begin to like stop watching these guys like permanently and realizing that they're just preying upon like a bunch of insecure and like a bunch of like young naive dudes giving them money. Bro, like the whole thing itself, the whole manosphere itself and the ideology is in there. It's just nothing but contradiction. Because how can you say that you don't like rely on anybody or no rely on the system, but yet you rely on the money and the insecurity of a bunch of like young, single, and probably like lonely dudes who don't like have no clue what they're doing or like how to do things, man. You pretty much like again, you pretty much again contradiction here. Honestly, I didn't know that Myron Gaines even had a girlfriend. Like wasn't until I saw that documentary, and I heard that like he kind of like they broke up because of the whole thing. And bro, I've been watching the footage like very closely. You can like when Marvin like point out the fact that hey, his girl's gonna be chill with the whole one way monogamy thing. Bro, I looked at her expression and pause. She did not like look like she was 100% cool with this. And the way that she was, like Byron was interacting with the staff, was it the girl that like Louis was interviewing, and she told her to like stop like answering questions and all that stuff. Yeah, that feels like she was like being held captive or something. And they're real. And bro, this is real bad, man. Real bad. I'm just saying, like the traits that Myron exhibits in like was it his girlfriend and like the lady assistant that was working for him. Bro, they definitely sound like they were like under like some DV kind of crap. Okay, okay, honestly, I never heard of this HS dude. And to be honest with you, I was like stunned and shocked that the mom is somewhat defending him about this whole thing. And I like from what he mentioned when he first mentioned his mom, he mentioned that his mom was like so like not like down with this whole homophobia, not down with racism. Bro, like seriously? No, 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 no. Like how can the mom just like say, boy, no, no, no. I promise you, if his mama was a black mama, I promise you, like, no, we don't play that in the black community. We don't play no disrespect that against women, bro. We don't play around with that ever. We don't disrespect black women in the community, bro. Never, never. I promise you, if he was raised with a black mom, none of that would not even happen though. And trust me, man. I mean, bro, as someone who grown up with like two parents, I know one thing. If my mom ever catch me like acting like this and behaving like this, bro, she would not only that whoop my behind, she probably would have killed me. Wait, no, 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 no. Wait, I got that wrong. My old man would whoop my ass. My mom would definitely like kill me after this. If they even caught me like this, bro. It's a good thing I got her when I did, and thank God I was raised with two parents, man. And bro, how can you okay, the HS dude. I'm still in that HS dude. Okay, going back on the whole HS dude, like I said, I never knew him before, but like hold on. Your whole business thing, like the majority of your income come from like exploiting women who do OnlyFans. And yet you're disgusted by the very same industry that you're like partaking in itself. Again, there's like a very contradicting thing to let's say or even do at that point. Because what the hell are you even doing there? If you like despise like, prostitution, sex work, hey man, I don't have nothing against sex work personally or anything like that. I mean, let's be honest, why would I? I'm a dude. But the point is, how okay, you're what was it? You're disgusted by the people who like what was it who basically like work for you, man. You're pretty much like what was it again, contradicting yourself and knowing that, bro, you're in the wrong business. If you like hate like sex work, but yeah, you're working with sex workers, then bro, you're in the wrong business, bro. Also, thinking, man, after like watching the documentary, we need to stop like saying like, oh, women have daddy issues, bro. After like watching the whole documentary, it seems like the majority of these manosphere dudes really do got a problem with their freaking dad, man. And like I said, thank God I was raised with two parents, and I really do have a strong relationship with my dad, man. Okay, the woman that took a TikTok pretty much like telling, or was it pretty much like giving her own 2 cents about like Justin Waller's marriage with his wife. The fact that like he didn't like legally get married to her. That ladies, if a guy's not willing to like marry you, like in the court of law and all that stuff, bro, okay, get out of there freaking now, because one, that is very dangerous for you. Because let's say if he does leave you, or if he does die or something, or if like let's say if there's a medical emergency that was it well I for power and attorney, yeah, where let's say I don't know the partner of that person like in that medical situation needs like someone else that like what was it to like to make the important medical decisions. She can't do that if something like that happens. And not only that, you pretty much put yourself in a vulnerable position by doing that, because again, if he does leave and die, you practically like set yourself up for like being homeless. Look, I don't know if you have like like family that you can stay with, or like friends that you can like count on to like if like like him and her like were falling out and stuff. Honestly, like yeah, like I said, that's a very dangerous move. And bro, I have like a bunch of lady friends in my life, and I would never want them to be in relationships like that, like ever. Bro, I really care about these ladies, man, that are in my life. They're like my best female friends. Bro, I really do care about them, and I would never want them to be in relationships like that, man. Shoot, not even my freaking sisters, man. Also, bro, these red pill master dudes, let's be honest, they don't even practice what they even preach, though. And okay, one of the things that's kind of felt funny in the whole documentary, one part of it that made me laugh was, let's see, the part where like what was it, where Louis was on the podcast with Myron. It wasn't for one, I don't know, episode or so, and he mentioned something about what was it, yeah, like women's body count mattering, and also what was it like whoever she slept with last, that's what your kid's gonna look like as she gets pregnant and stuff, and the baby pops out, bro. Honestly, man, I was laughing because, bro, that's ridiculous. There's no way. As someone who like studied genetics for fun, that could never really happen. Like that's completely ridiculous. The kid's more likely to look like a combination between you and your wife or your significant other, bro. That is not even like genetically even possible for your like what was it for your baby to look like your ex or at least your wife's ex, unless your ex got back with your wife or something like that, man. And again, like I said about like well the why people like watch this. Hello, they're single, they're lonely, they don't know what to do or how to do things with life or how to do things with life or all that stuff. They pretty much don't they're lost. And what the red pill master space, it gives them direction. It makes it feel like they have a purpose or trying to like help them find a purpose, man. And you know what's the sad part about this is? Like eventually, like even if like Myron Gaye, Andrew Tate, Nico, Nick Fuentes, if even if these guys like stop doing this, there will be more guys like him, or at least like them, doing the exact same thing, preying upon like young insecure dudes who have a hard time with the opposite sex to get money. And let's be honest, they're kind of right on that part. Because like let's be honest, we live in the age where literally like social media control every aspect of your freaking life. Because let's be honest, like in what I mean, it makes sense of why they keep saying the most outrageously like that shit crazy crap, because that's what gives them views, that's what gives them money. And let's be honest, man, let's be honest, the way that the economic system is going right now in this country in the United States, bro, everybody's getting desperate for money these days. Everybody is. And bro, imagine if like Myron Gaines or any of these like podcast bros were actual psychologists. Let's say, I don't know, Myron was a famous psychologist who like literally like, I don't know, do the whole podcast thing. He's more likely to be more believable to younger audiences because hello, he's a psychologist, and psychologists are good at understanding and well, I guess like dealing with human behavior. And it makes sense. And let's be honest, most people would not question him or even like bother like fact check any of this because let's get real. The likelihood of most people understanding any like psychological like talk or jargon is another psychologist. And I'm telling you, like psychology is not like an easy thing to like be an expert in. That takes years of experience. Also, while watching this documentary as well, I realized that pretty much like the Fresh and Fair podcast and all the other podcast clowns pretty much uses the same trick that Charlie Kirk used to do. What was it? Go and challenge and debate with like younger people, like in colleges and stuff. Because again, like it's easy to win a debate with someone who's younger than you. It's so easy. And what Myron and them do, they just like get like a bunch of bimbos, obviously, to attract male viewers, but also to like show that hey, what was it? I'm smarter than these younger women who don't like what was it? Don't have no knowledge and could not like check them or not even like correct them, even if they were wrong the whole time. No one would question them. No one would ever like think, oh, that's not true. They don't have like the ability to like fight back or prove it. And okay, I know that I'm talking about like Master, but I got a good talking about Charlie Kirk for a second, bro. He's a punk. He really is a punk. Why I say that, bro? You're going after a bunch of college students and debating about something that they probably don't even have no knowledge about. And not only that, if you would really like wanted to like prove that you're a tough guy in that sense, I would rather like debate like was it the college professors. I'd probably like get up like all the information I could, then debate with the like college professors. Because I'm telling you, man, it would be a flex if I managed to outsmart or outdo college professors who've been studying this stuff for years, and I was able to outdo them. Now that's a real flex, bro. I don't care, man. Honestly, man, I really do not freaking care. If my like what was it like by the time if I ever do have kids and they're boys, I'm definitely showing this documentary right here, right now. Because we need to do a better job at like telling our boys that hey, there's many different ways to be successful in life. The whole flashy cars, the beautiful women thing. Okay, that's one way to be successful, but it's not like the way, man. We really need to do a better job of raising our boys today. Hell, if I have to, I will literally like what was it like I don't know, tie them up to the couch and make them watch that documentary like twice to make sure that they got the point that hey, bro, be careful about like what you watch on the freaking internet. I'm being serious about this. This manosphere stuff has really started to become a big problem, a really big problem. And if this doesn't get checked soon, bro, we're gonna be like South Korea at this point. Okay, in case you guys don't know, like, was it South Korea is having like a fertility crisis, and or was it the whole women are like doing the whole 4B movement? In case you don't know what that is, 4B pretty much is like a swear off like all men, swear off for relationships. Honestly, I'm not gonna be surprised, and I don't blame most women for wanting to like be 4B in this country because I mean, after everything that's been happening lately with Roe versus Wade, and again, like this whole documentary itself at this particular point, I don't blame most women for checking out or like not want to deal with men. Period. And shoot, I wouldn't want none of my sisters to be dating right now at this point. I wouldn't want none of my sisters, none of my close female friends, to even like be dating at this point. Okay, honestly though, so what should we be doing about this? What should we do? Obviously, again, when your sons, this is just my solutions for this whole thing, or like what should we do going forward to make sure that some of our kids don't end up like these guys? Obviously, we need to like, and I don't know, probably at least normalize them. Like, hey, it's okay to cry. Telling them like, hey, son, it's okay to cry. It's okay, man. You gotta let those feeling out, man. Another thing about it too, we need to stop like saying like, hey, it's a boy thing, it's a girl thing. We need to stop with that like right now. Bro, I really hope that Louis Devo. Okay, I cannot pronounce. Okay, Jesus. Okay, I hope that Louis dude who made this documentary, bro, I hope that they like give him a award for this because this is outstanding work. And like I said, if this whole master thing does not like get handled like quick, we're pretty much gonna be like like South Korea at this point. And ladies, I don't blame you for not dating or hating guys at this point. I really don't. Alright, your boy gotta go. Let's share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, check me out on DNR. Please everything's down below. Entry board, out.